Hello everyone, my name is Alana Kleinpeter. I am a pioneer and harvester of Cultivate Academy. Here today, I'm interviewing my teacher, Miss Dory. We're going to be interviewing her today on Kids Read Analysis. Miss Dory, today I'm coming to you with Kids Read Analysis on encouragement of The Little Regenerative Farmer, created by Lauren Joy. By Lauren Lovejoy.
All right. Go ahead.
The encouragement to me of this book is about Leah. She is encouraging to me because in the beginning of telling her story, she mentions, and the book makes it known, how much she asked her parents if she could have a farm. And no matter how much they said, Leah, having a farm takes a lot of work. She still kept going and she kept asking till they gave in. But what's encouraging about it is the fact that once she said it, she put her mind to it.
That's right.
She took good care of them. She did things like grow out that grass for those chickens. She made sure to move around their chicken coop by adding wheels to it because she's a tiny girl. And the beauty in that to me was the fact that when you say you want something, go for it. Stick with it. Don't abandon it. It might be hard in the beginning, but don't be a quitter.
Very good.
Go for your dreams.
Yes.
Any comment?
Yes, that's perfect. And that's the purpose of our Kids Read Analysis, is for you all to use your perspective and your understanding to pull out those aspects. I agree with Lena. She didn't give up. And then she had another challenge. Once she did get that in place, the neighbors had a problem with what?
Her tall grass.
Her tall grass. And she needed that tall grass for those chickens. So instead of giving up or getting frustrated, Lena invited her neighbors. First, she took, what she do? She took a peace offering, which was the eggs. And then she invited them to come see what she was doing. Yeah. That's encouraging. You know, she faced her challenge head on, and she was a good neighbor, and she showed them how to be a good neighbor, and they decided that they were going to start buying eggs from her. They decided that they liked what Lena was doing, and so they began to support her, and that is very encouraging, to show her grit. She did not quit.
Yes. And the fact that sometimes when you want something, you have to make adjustments. You have to make changes. Whether you're trying to achieve something by inventing it, whether you want to get a goal done by taking part in an activity, sometimes you have to make room for change, for criticism, for a challenge.
That's right.
And that's the cool thing about Lena.
She didn't let it stop her. All right. So encouragement is the first aspect that I have you guys use for your analysis. The next one in Kids Read is action. And for action, we've been looking at the author, right?
Yes, ma'am.
What question do you have to put out there? We've got your other peers, your pioneers here. What did we see with action?
Well, for action, we did our research about Lauren Lovejoy. Our question was, what inspired her to create The Little Regenerative Farmer? Where did this come from? It came from a true aspect of her life experience. You see, Lauren, when she was in her 20s, she got really ill. She caught Lyme disease, and this meant she had to go back. She was off in the city, but she went back to her farm, her family farm. In that time, she expresses that she was sick and, feeling a bit sad. But what inspired her is when she saw her cow. And that cow is the same cow that she saw back when she was a tiny girl. And that is when she began to look on the bright side and fall in love with the land and all of it, the nature that surrounds it. And this is when she discovered regenerative farming. With regenerative farming, It allowed her to better know how to grow out crops and how to bring life onto that farm. Yes, it had a cow, a little grass, but she saw the potential in it. And that's why she wanted to inspire little children around the world to get into the action of the nature and of the field. Love the dirt, love the soil. Take earth by storm, hold it, love it, and forever be with it.
It's good. Yes, her seeking and finding regenerative agriculture was really out of a passion for climate change. That was something that she said while she was sick. She started to really try to learn more about climate change. And so, as she was doing that, she discovered regenerative farming. And she just saw all of that land as not as well as it could be. And so her family actually didn't work the land. They leased it out to a farmer. And the practices of the farmer left the land depleted. It was unwell. And I think she felt like the cow was unwell. The cow looked the same as it did when she was little. And so she started to dig in and go deeper about regenerative agriculture to figure out, all right, how can we heal this land? How can we make it well again? So her story, the little regenerative farmer, was intentional. It was something she lived. And that was her action. Her action first was discovering regenerative farming. And then her action was telling the story. And then within the book, there's a link to her website about regenerative farming. So she really is going into action. She's an activist in real life. To invite others to participate in the discovery of the benefits of regenerative farming.
Yes, ma'am.
Do you remember some of the principles of regenerative farming? We looked at those yesterday. Does anyone remember?
Some of the principles I remember include.
We had horticulture, permaculture, ocean farming.
Then there was the community farming.
Community gardens, right?
And then there was ash.
No-till.
Yes.
Char. What was it? Char ag or something like that.
Or as back then, as they used to say, the char and burn.
Yeah.
Or the char and slash.
And then container growing.
Yes.
Let's see. Did they have? Nope, that wasn't on there. Okay. So, yeah, she's invited us to her world. And she did that through the book. So she's definitely in action. So last thing we looked at, actually, we haven't looked at discovery yet for this one, have we?
No, ma'am.
We haven't learned about the illustrator yet. All right. So then let's go to Joy Takes Root next.
Yes, ma'am.
Someone else should be at the light.
Yes, ma'am. So, the next one we'll be talking about is Joy Takes Root.
Yes.
Joy Takes Root was written by Gwendolyn Wallace and illustrated by Ashley Corrin. What we had discovered on the action for Gwendolyn Wallace is about her speaking from her childhood in this book. This book goes about her discoveries she learned in the land, thanks to her grandma in South Carolina. She tells the story with a character named Joy. Joy spends time with her grandmother in the South. Her grandmother teaches her the importance of being connected and in tune with earth and the soil.
And the plants.
The plants. Yes, ma'am. Thank you for reminding me.
Yes.
Also, she showed her the similarities between the soil and, most of all, the seed, showing how it all has a heartbeat, a soul, just as she does. Also, she showed her how to pray and how to put all of the positive thoughts within that seed before she touches anything, and why that is a sacred thing to do. Once Joy learned this, Joy began to do it herself at home.
Mm-hmm.
And she truly understood what her grandma was saying.
Yeah.
Now, with Miss Gwendolyn, she was doing this story based off of when she was with her grandma.
Mm-hmm.
And her grandma had shown her these things. Originally, she explains that she had gone with her grandma in Africa. And her grandma told her something very important.
Is this Joy? Hold on. Is this Gwendolyn or is this Leah?
This is Gwendolyn.
Did she go to Africa?
That's what I recall.
Okay. What you got? I think, yeah, her grandmother's out. I think you pulling up Leah.
I could be.
Penniman. It's good. This is good.
Oh,
good story.
I think so. Excuse me then.
It's all good.
But correction. Her grandmother inspired her to pray over the food.
Yes, Leah Penniman. Yes, ma'am. Yes,
and
ma'am.
Excuse me.
That's all right. That's all right. And it's good. I'm glad that came to your mind because there's a connection there. Her grandmother, Leah Penniman, the writer of Farming While Black and Black Earth Wisdom, she tells a story of when she goes to Africa and her grandmother asked her, do y'all pray over your food? And she said, no, grandma. And she said, well, no wonder y'all are sick. And so she learned then
to pray
that there need to be intentions set as we're planting. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's why I made that connection.
Yeah. That's
it
good.
has a real parallel. But if
it's
anything,
good.
With Gwendolyn, she was sat back and she graduated from Yale University in medication with science and medicine.
Mm-hmm.
She did this because she's always had like a love for the land. So she wanted to tap into that more.
And she had a love for healing.
Indeed.
How to heal, right? How to heal herself and others.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So, all right. So that's action. We found out that Gwendolyn, the author of Joy Takes Root, was an activist also, or is an activist in her own right. What about discovery with the illustrator for Joy Takes Root?
Yes. Discovery. What we discovered about Miss Ashlyn Korn is she got her talent and she was inspired by her grandma.
Mm-hmm.
Her grandma told her that she should be illustrating people's unique stories. And she would like her to do it with creativity. Her goal when she does her illustrations for books or for anything that someone is telling a story with, in her own words, she said she likes to do it with creativity. She likes to do it with the vulnerability. She loves it with transparency. She wants people to have good laughs when they see her drawings. And she wants the nostalgia. And she also wants people to be able to see the light within themselves. That this is her goal when she's doing these lovely art pieces.
Yeah, it's her gift. Yeah, and she focuses a lot on families when she does illustration, even outside of Joy Takes Root. She focuses on illustrations that are centered around family.
Yes, indeed. Matter of fact, these are her illustrations. This is what Miss Dury means with she focused on family. This is Joy, and this is her grandmother.
Yes.
As you can see, she put a lot of color and a lot of thought into these drawings. They look very happy.
They do.
They really go with the scenery and with the storyline of this book. You can see the soil, you can see the plants, and you can see the lovely details on Joy's grandma's blanket. Here she's explained to Joy that she uses certain herbs for when she's sick or when she's got a cold, how it heals her. But you can just see the art and the detail that Miss Ashlyn has put into this. Oh, thank you, Miss Ashley. Miss Ashley has put into her drawings.
Very good.
I'm Alana Klein, Peter. Thank you so much for listening to me.
Very good.
This is my review and my understanding on our Kids Read analysis and my interview with my teacher, Miss Dory. I hope y'all all are having a wonderful afternoon.
All right. Very good. Good job, Alana.